Ninjor.
Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger!
Hey, howdy, hey, Rangerinos. Welcome once again to the Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger podcast. This is the podcast where something's been missing because we need something different for me. We need it different for me. My name's Matt.
I'm Michael. Hey, guys. I don't think that's what we... Do you need something different?
I mean, variety is the spice of life. So just as like a principle,
Right.
I think I'm always in need of something different.
Okay, I guess I understand that in theory.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah. Plot twist, though. Actually, on this podcast, we watch Power Rangers.
Yep.
Mighty Morphin flavor. We're going to be watching episode 137 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers today, and it's entitled A Different Shade of Pink, Part the Third.
Yep. So we've seen the first two parts.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's how we do that.
Now we're up to the part the third.
We love that chronology.
So, what? I guess stuff's going to happen.
That's a good guess.
I mean,
I like that prediction. This is weird. So we're podcasting in my new apartment, guys.
yeah, it's
And the table is much smaller than we're accustomed to.
We're very close to each other.
It's it feels like we're going to get real. Like we're going to get up on the mic and do some real talk. Instead, we're going to talk about Power Rangers.
Hey, that might get real.
Maybe.
I mean, you never know, right?
I mean, it happens from time to time on this podcast. That's true. Michael, seriously, though, there's something I need to tell you.
Okay.
We have a website.
Yep.
It's www.rangerdangerpodcast.com. There's things on there like show notes and the Ranger Danger creature feature. It's worth checking out if you want to see our archives. The other thing is, if people want to send us an email...
An email?
Yeah, they can do that by sending it to rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah. And you know what? If they wanted to send us a Twitter tweet, they could probably do that by going onto Twitter and... firing it our way. We're at Ranger Decast on Twitter. That's us. Even Facebook. That's a place where we are.
Yep.
You can search us, join the conversation. It's a whole bunch of fun.
You okay, buddy?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just thinking about Stitcher and how that's a place where people can find us as well.
Sure.
And also on TuneIn, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and yeah. You know what? If people like buying things, they can go to our shop. That's rangerdangerpodcast.com/shop. We have things and stuff there. Yeah, I'm glad I could get that off my chest.
Okay, before we get into part 3, like a news thing, and then an email.
Yeah, news.
And then an email thing I wanted to talk about.
Great.
So
you picked me up out of my depression.
The news thing is The Flash is still great.
Yes, it's not news. That's just how life is.
That's not actually the news thing that I wanted to talk about, but I
feel
like...
Legend of Tomorrow is pretty good.
Yeah, it's
pretty good.
Yeah. Or I've just developed Stockholm Syndrome, and...
I think they're finding their stride. Is that a thing people do?
Yes.
They found something good.
I hope that's it. Mm-hmm. They need to get rid of those Hawk people.
They did.
I just don't
Spoilers.
care. I don't care. No one cares. Has anyone ever cared about Hawkman? Ever?
I mean, I like Hawkman when he is...
a space cop with a mace?
Well, sure. But also when he's on the Justice League and Green Arrow is there and they have that relationship.
Sure.
But that has not been the case on the TV show.
No.
They barely have anything to do with each other in the Arrowverse, sadly. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, the news is O-Ranger is coming to DVD.
Oh!
Ranger.
That's the high level of comedy you can expect on this show.
Proud of yourself there?
Pretty proud.
So O-Ranger is the series that became Power Rangers Zeo. So it will be... It'll be the fourth Sentai that
Spackles?
Shout Factory have released on DVD. So clearly sales for that range are going well enough for those guys. Mm-hmm. I'd kind of expected after they did the one with the Green Ranger and the one with the White Ranger that they might skip around a bit. But they seem pretty committed to doing
it's cool,
at least
right?
the first 4 in a row.
I think at this point, yeah, I think you're right. This is the point where it's like, oh, they're actually going to do a series of these, not just do the easy ones.
Which is, that's cool. I hope that it keeps going long enough to get to, like, some of the modern crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like, whatever the name of the Sentai that Dino Charge is, I want that on DVD. But, I would not have expected them to sell well enough for them to get up to O-Ranger even. So
I want to see the one with the pirates. That was such a letdown that we had a pirate season and the Americans said nothing piratey with it.
I mean, people love pirates.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love pirates? Just be like, hey, I'm a space pirate. I've come from space to be a pirate.
They made an Assassin's Creed game about pirates where the pirate stuff was so good they forgot about the Assassin's Creed part.
And it was so much better than all the other Assassin's Creed games. Why haven't they just made a pirates game?
I think they are, to be honest.
I mean, they have to, right?
Yeah. I honestly think that that is what Ubisoft is currently working
Because
on.
the feedback from everyone was, hey guys, stop making these shitty Assassin's Creed games and maybe just make the pirates game.
Prior to that game, I would stand by the Assassin's Creed series.
Sure.
From Unity onwards, that was a sad time for everybody involved. But I liked Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood and Revelations. And a lot of 3. I know that's a controversial statement, but I'm going to say it.
Is 3 the Native American one?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Okay, there we go. That's our feelings on Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Oh, what about the movie? Let's talk about the movie.
I mean, okay, this is a very, very long tangent. I think what I said to you is cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. You know what moved me from cautiously optimistic back to like, I don't know.
No, but tell me.
I was told that the balance between modern stuff and past stuff is about 60-40, favouring modern. And I was like, no, that's not what I want from Assassin's Creed.
I mean, like, in the games, they are vastly overwhelmingly set in the past because the past is where all the, like,
Fun stuff is?
assassinating happens.
Yeah.
But in a movie, like, all the plot stuff happens in the present. That's what happens with those games.
That's
it's like
true.
you spend 6 months stabbing dudes, and then you come back and they're like, actually, there's an AI and meteors or something, and aliens.
God, those games are dumb.
It's insane, right?
Yeah.
So I can understand if you're turning that into a film, how you go like, we don't actually need to see him assassin 6 guys.
Yes, we do. We absolutely do.
I mean, yeah, okay, that's fair.
Was it Assassin's Creed Revelations, maybe, where you had like modern day stuff where you actually went out and did action things?
It was definitely one of the 2 ones, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it was real good. That's all I have to say on that. There was parachutes involved. Everyone likes parachutes.
I don't remember parachutes.
You sort of like went up a construction site and like did some assassinating in there and then jumped off the top with the
Oh,
parachute.
I don't remember that at all. Maybe it's a different one I'm thinking of.
Maybe. So that's Assassin's Creed Danger.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we got an email a couple of weeks ago.
Great, I love those.
It's not really a Power Rangers email, but it's a Ranger Danger email, and
we're those people, so that seems appropriate for us to read it.
Yeah, I kind of thought it would be an interesting question to tackle. So this is an email from Brian.
Hey, Brian.
And he's saying that he was curious as to how we got started. He's not so much interested in podcasting as he is like blogging and building up a following and that sort of thing. How did we go about getting such a great fan following and online presence? And he's wondering if we had any tips.
It's a good question. I'd love to know.
So, I mean, first of all, I'm glad that someone thinks we have a great online presence.
Yeah.
I mean, comparatively, we've got no online presence at all.
Yeah.
Compared to you or I individually, we have a pretty good online presence.
Yep.
But compared to, like, anyone else...
Yeah, I think we've been doing this for...
Nearly 3 years.
Nearly.
Two and a half and a bit.
Nearly 3, yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, as much as we absolutely love the listeners that we have, it's not a huge number for people that have been doing this for 3 years.
Yes and no, depending, but go on.
Yeah, and I think that, to be honest, we kind of made a conscious decision pretty early on, I think, to make the podcast we wanted to make.
Yeah.
And put a little bit of work into getting it out there, but not actively market it. Like, we've never went, oh, we should do this on the podcast because it'll mean more listeners.
Yeah.
We've really just made the podcast we felt like making and then people largely just turned up, which felt really good.
We've often done things and gone, oh God, is this going to lose us all of our listeners?
Yeah.
I think if you go back about 3 episodes and listen after the credits, there is a great example of one of those things.
Yeah. So, to be honest, when we started out, we were doing things like doing paid posts on Facebook, which did not work out for us at all.
No.
Tried to sort of drop links in forums and stuff like that. But, yeah, very rapidly we kind of pulled back on that and just focused on interacting with fans that we did have. And
I mean, I will say the one thing that we did that really kind of... Like, I've got our download numbers going back to... about 6 months after about 5 months after we started.
Yep.
Because it was at that point that we went, okay, we've committed a lot to this. Maybe we should be paying attention to how many people are listening to our podcast.
Yep.
And like, it's not a lie to say that we were looking at 20 or 30 downloads an episode.
Yep.
Which, I mean, we might as well just have been yelling it out on the street.
Yes.
And I'm open to the idea of going back and trying that, by the way.
There's a model there, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, that...
It's just street theatre at that point.
Guy who walks around Newtown, the old Asian guy with the sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could be like that guy.
Yeah.
But the sign would be about Power Rangers.
It's not a bad idea.
No.
You may not hear from us next week.
Oh, no, we'll record it as well. I don't know how good the sound will be, but we paid for an ad...
Yes.
...on another podcast.
Oh, yeah, that was War Arcade Ajax.
Which is a podcast that both Matt and I are fans of.
Yeah.
And that we knew from iTunes our listenership...
Well, there was a bit of crossover of interest.
Crossed over with.
Yep.
Which, I mean, boosted our numbers 3 times maybe.
Yep.
In just that one action.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the lesson from that is not necessarily like pay for an ad on War Rocket Ajax, but that it was... Like, go where some of your people already are.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was that, like, I listen to War Rocket Ajax every week. You're a fan of both Chris Sims and Matt Wilson.
Yep.
So there's definitely an element of we like them, so the people who like them might also be interested in what we're interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was really just about... We feel like there's some relationship in sort of... spirit there, if that makes sense. So, yeah, and I think that you know, it proved to be a good strategy, so...
I do have some other thoughts as well.
Yep.
Just send emails to people. I mean, I shot an email to the guys at Super Sentai Brothers.
Yep.
After only hearing them, they were on our iTunes page in that people who are subscribed to you are also subscribed to them section.
Yep.
And I just went... hey, that seems cool, listen to an episode, shot them an email and said, hey, we're another podcast, would you guys be interested in crossing over?
Yep.
And they like instantly responded with, heck yeah, let's do that. And I love having those guys on the podcast.
Yeah, they're
and
great guys.
It was great to go on their podcast, and we will try and do that again.
Yep.
And, you know, there's a bunch of... So, like, find other people doing the same thing as you, and you don't have to, like... find people who are doing it better than you. You can find other people who are doing it as well as you and team up.
Yep.
I think we touched on it before, but like, don't lie about like what you're doing.
Yes.
Like, we're pretty open about how many people listen to this podcast.
Yep.
And you guys all know there's not like 1 million of you. If there was 1 million of you, that would be kind of great.
Yeah, look, we wouldn't turn it down.
Yeah. But just don't like... I think the fact that we're honest about that is important somehow.
Well, I think people understand intuitively when you're being honest.
Yes.
And I think that's true when we talk about the show on air. We don't say like, oh, you know, we're a major Power Rangers podcast. I think there's something to the humility of owning where you're at. But also I think when we've approached some of the bigger guest stars we've had on the show, we've never tried to be like, we're, you know, 1 million people following us. But
I do occasionally call us the biggest Power Rangers podcast in the Southern Hemisphere.
Well, that's a fact.
But I do also add in brackets, possibly the only. So I do clarify that. Yeah.
And I think having a small group of very engaged listeners that are very passionate is perhaps better than, I don't know better, but as good as, you know, a massive crowd of people. So when we've approached guest stars, we've been able to be honest and say, look, we don't have a huge amount of people, but the ones who do listen, they're very engaged and they get involved and they're true fans.
And I have one other tip. Be quick.
Yeah.
Like when very recently I spoke to 2 Power Rangers over Skype.
Yep.
And that was insane. And the reason that we got to do that is as soon as they announced that they had a thing going on, I got a message across to them and said, "Hey, we're a podcast. We would like to interview you if you're interested in that.
Yep.
We'll take like whoever's free whenever you guys can do it. Let's get that happening." And we may be the only podcast that's interviewed people about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I think the fact that we got in right at the ground and said like, "Hey, let us do this," before other people got in is valuable.
Yeah, I think, Michael, you're the king of just putting yourself out there and getting in touch with people and seeing what happens.
Which, I mean, if you'd known me in person, is the strangest sentence in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to the fact that you're king of the internet.
Yeah.
And then you're able to use that special power.
Good at the internet.
You are good at the internet. And I think part of that as well, like you put yourself out there and sometimes you're going to get knocked back.
Yep.
But you're going to get someone eventually.
Yep.
And when you do, it starts a knock-on effect where once you've talked to Austin St. John, every time...
Yeah, that's something we can put in the emails that we send to other people.
Yeah.
And say, look, we've interviewed 4 Power Rangers.
Yep.
And we have a regular ongoing segment now with the writer of the Power Rangers comic. So as soon as there's another Power Rangers comic, we can go like, "Hey, we've got this thing going on."
And I think it's as important as it is to be able to say, we've interviewed those people. I think it's just important to be able to go, we've interviewed these people, have a listen.
Yes.
So you can understand that we know how to work with people. We're not going to cause an awkward situation with the talent.
You guys know what people on the internet are like.
Yes.
And we try very hard to not be those people on the internet.
Yes.
And I think, the ability to not be those people on the internet is incredibly useful.
Yeah. Michael and I are always going to be ourselves.
Yeah.
But we do try and bring a level of professionalism to these things when we approach them.
Yeah.
And you'll know if you listen to the show, we're pretty wacky guys who don't love structure and doing things professionally. But, when those opportunities come up, it's sort of...
Are you telling me I should have gone into a weird noir tangent with Jason Ford and Nakia Burris?
I mean, I don't want to say you shouldn't have done that, but maybe it's for the best that you didn't.
I feel like Jason Ford would go for it. He
Quite
seems
possibly.
like a cool guy.
He does seem like a cool guy.
Which is a sentence I can say now.
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
It is pretty weird.
Do you
Yeah.
remember when we started this podcast 2.5 years ago?
I remember specifically talking about the fact that, maybe one day you'll have a real ranger on the show, and it's like, oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
And now we're on 4. It's pretty good.
I'd still like to have one do an episode with us.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make that happen, really.
I think we've got much more chance of doing it with someone like Tanya, or the lady who plays it. I've forgotten her name, and that's terrible.
That's fine. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you struggle.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I appreciate that. Who doesn't have an ongoing relationship with Saban these days?
Yes.
So there's no risk of Saban flipping out?
Are you telling me that someone who is currently appearing on Power Rangers might not want to come on a podcast where we've frequently said the sentence, "fuck Saban"?
Yes.
I'm waiting for them to find out and shut us down.
That would be completely fair.
But I've been waiting 2.5 years and it hasn't happened yet, so...
And I feel like we're balanced. We say as much good things about as bad things.
Yeah, we do love Power Rangers.
Yeah, very much.
Most of the time.
And I think that's perhaps maybe the other key tip.
Yeah, I think that's the last thing.
It's important to be honest and not be cynical, because it's easy to take cheap shots at stuff.
Yeah.
And we've said some bad things about the show on the podcast.
When it's shit, say it's shit.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But also, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love Power Rangers in some way.
No, we'd be insane if we'd be doing this.
So do a podcast or a blog or whatever it is about something that you love and own that. The world has enough cynicism.
Yeah.
It doesn't have nearly enough earnest expression of love.
But at the same time, when the thing you love is bad,
Yes.
you have to feel free to say that.
Yes, absolutely.
So there you go. That's our advice to how to become a podcaster with approximately 400 listeners.
I had a lot more opinion about that than I thought I would.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Yeah.
That's why I saved that for a week where not much had happened.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. All right. Let's go find out if this is going to make us hate Power Rangers or not.
I mean, we're probably going to lose Kimberly this week, right? That's a scary thought.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little more once it happens.
Okay.
Because I don't know it's possible she might be in next week's episode.
Sure.
I don't know. So
I don't know either.
Let's find out, and we'll be back in a sec.
Back after the beeps. And we're back. That's it. It happened.
This is a strange episode.
It was a strange, because it didn't have the normal structure, which is so weird for the show.
It was really just like a sequence of events. It felt like if they'd maybe done some judicious cutting, it could have been the last 10 minutes of a two-parter.
Yeah.
Instead of being its own separate episode.
I think it was also strange because there wasn't really any action in it.
It's not even like... It's not a third act.
No. It is an extended epilogue, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of get the climax of the story in it, but it's a big step down in action.
Yes.
From last week, so it's very strange.
All right, will we take it from the top?
That's what we do.
So, in case you forgot where we were last week, the Rangers have to hand Kat over to Rita and Zed.
That's right.
Or else they will throw Ninjor into the Sea of Sorrow.
That's the worst sea.
Where, as Zordon tells us, he will almost certainly succumb to the elements.
What does that even mean? He's a superpowered robot.
I know. Like,
What's it like? He's gonna be affected by the wind negatively?
Is it an actual sea?
I
Like
had
ocean?
imagined like a desert, but and they start talking about the tide coming in and
I definitely imagined like an infinitely large ocean. You know what I
Okay,
mean? Like,
sure.
like even an actual ocean, but not really something with shores.
Yeah.
Just like...
And then they talked about succumbing to the elements, which I guess in that case would be drowning.
Yeah.
But that's a super weird way to say drowning. But I guess you don't want to say, well, Ninja will definitely drown.
How will Ninja drown? He's on the moon like right now and he's fine. Does Ninja have to breathe? If so, why?
Yeah.
Because he's... Yeah. And someone says, I don't know who, someone says, he's always been there for us.
Yeah.
Now, I will admit, in the past couple of weeks, he's shown up when you needed him.
Yep.
But realistically, selling that as he's always been there for us is a bit strong.
Oh, he's always been there when they needed him. All the other times they didn't need him, clearly, because they survived.
I guess. Zordon cops out of this decision.
Yep.
He just says to them, well, that's a dilly of a pickle and no mistake. You guys are going to have to decide on that. Zordon out.
He really does just completely shirk responsibility there.
Like, I understand kind of the thing where he doesn't want, like, he's empowered them to solve problems.
Yeah.
But he is also their mentor and is supposed to be full of sage advice.
Yeah, they're specifically asking for his advice, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm good, thanks. This is hard, and I don't want any part of it.
I trust a bunch of children to decide whether they will sacrifice a human friend in exchange for a magical ninja.
Yep. And what the choice basically is you can let someone die,
Yep.
or you can give up your powers, which will almost certainly result in other people dying.
Yeah.
So good luck, kids!
It's basically the train track ethical dilemma, but presented with throwing a ninja into a magical sea.
Which is the best version of that dilemma, if we're honest.
Definitely. Oh. Alright, so on the moon...
Yep.
Basically, Lord Zed is shitty at Rita because none of her plans ever succeed.
Which is such a hypocritical thing.
Yeah, because he's been on this show now, like, comparatively nearly as long as she has.
Yep.
Also never succeeded.
Nope. It's this weird scene because it really did feel like a domestic.
Yeah.
And I had this feeling of like, we shouldn't be seeing this. This is their private squabble.
Especially because it doesn't progress the plot in any particular way.
No, and it's also shot in a very different way to the normal, like, steady on the moon shot. It's sort of, the camera's following them around like it's Desperate Housewives or something.
It does just feel strange. Yeah. Anyway, at the hospital, Kim is staring out what feels like a giant window.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kat's come to visit.
Yep.
And she's come to provide some moral support.
Mm-hmm.
She never told anyone, mostly because she's been evil since they've known her.
Yes.
She was going to go to the Pan Global Games herself as a diver.
She was going to bring Australia home their first gold medal in years. Which, hang on a minute.
Maybe in diving.
Maybe. We win lots of medals. We're pretty good at medals.
We win medals at the Olympics.
Yeah.
We've never won a medal at the Pan Global Games.
That's a good point.
I mean, that is because they don't exist.
Yep.
But,
Yeah.
I've got to wonder, like, kids in America, like 7, 8-year-olds watching this, do they know what Australia is? Like, what knowledge do they have of Australia?
I think they know that we're here and that we have kangaroos. I feel like by 8 years old, you've heard of kangaroos, no matter where
That's
you're from.
probably true. But maybe I'm biased because we live in the country that has kangaroos.
Maybe. I don't know, I feel like kangaroos and maybe platypuses are kind of like common knowledge. Then wombats are kind of like the grey area.
Wombats are great, though. Wombats are like tiny tanks that shit cubes. Wombats are the greatest thing in the world.
They are like tiny tanks that shit cubes. And they're also just so shitty all of the time.
Yeah.
They're the grumpiest little teddies.
You guys might not know this. If you don't know what a wombat is, just Google wombat to get an image. They're kind of in that, like, small furry animal sector.
Yep.
But they're like the size of a decent-sized cat.
Yep. But built like a rhinoceros.
And if they run, they just run and just don't stop. They'll just hit you in the legs and take you out and keep going.
You know the juggernaut, right?
Yeah.
They're like the juggernaut, but
wombat
tiny.
is the juggernaut of the animal kingdom.
Yeah. But tiny and furry.
I kind of am starting to understand why Americans are so insane about our animals. Because
Yeah.
our animals are bonkers.
They are bonkers. I mean, the platypus. It's a furry duck.
Yep.
But also kind of more like a seal.
And it also has poison fingers.
Yeah, that's true.
And can sense movement by electrical impulses in the water.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a platypus outside a zoo?
Not outside a zoo, no.
No, me either. Yeah, I feel like Americans would expect us to see platypuses like everywhere.
I guess.
No. I've seen a few wombats. Seen a lot of kangaroos.
Yeah, kangaroos are not uncommon.
No.
Well, I mean, in the city they're uncommon.
If I told you about how in Canberra, when I was at school there were like a herd of kangaroos that would just bounce onto the basketball courts while we were in class. We would just hang out there on the basketball courts.
If the end of this story isn't, and then one day we caught them playing basketball, I'm going to be super bummed.
Unfortunately, no. And there were a few times back when I was living in Canberra in my older years when I'd walk home from work and be walking through suburban areas.
Yeah.
And there'd just be a kangaroo just bouncing down the street like it was on its way home.
I mean, I'm worried that what you're telling people is that Canberra is the stereotypical Australia that they've seen in their head.
It's not, but there are a lot of kangaroos.
So it is what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess.
Lots of roundabouts as well.
That's true.
Kangaroos and roundabouts.
Is that stereotypically Australian?
Do you know, they don't really have them in America.
Really?
There's lots of places that are starting to integrate them, and, like, especially in smaller cities.
Yeah.
And, like, people are going insane because they're like, what the shit is that? Why isn't it just an intersection and we can just choose to kill each other if we want?
Yeah, I can understand why a roundabout would perturb you if you've never seen one before. But they're so useful.
Yeah. They're like a four-way stop that has actual clear rules about who's meant to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love them.
Yeah.
Love roundabouts. We're going to come out and say it. All about roundabouts.
That's a bold, strong position to have.
Yep.
That's fine. Okay, so Kat basically, when she was going to do this dive, she hit her head on the board and it killed her, and she's dead now. She's been a ghost the whole time.
Wow, that's a dramatic plot twist.
That's not... I mean, she got hurt somehow.
Do you think she would become one of the ghosts from Beetlebogs that lives in the haunted house?
Maybe.
That'd be pretty cool.
Okay. And still, despite hitting her head on the board, which I would imagine severely impacts a dive,
It just really severely impacts your head.
she only lost by 1 point. She
Yeah.
must have been so much better than everyone else that even unconscious falling into a pool, she was only slightly worse than the rest of the contestants.
I wonder if everyone else did that as well, but they actually died.
Oh,
so they're
right.
like, I guess not dying is slightly better, so boop.
And she never went in near the water again.
Yeah, that's
She's a cat who's afraid of water.
true. I didn't put that together.
Fuck this show. / I love this show. I don't... It's impossible to tell.
I think that's the most Jeff Johnsian thing that's ever happened on Power Rangers.
All right, so, I mean, the intent of that story is to say to Kim, don't be afraid because you fell off a balance beam that one time.
Yep.
But She fell off the balance beam because she was under an evil magical curse?
No, she didn't. She was just real tired.
Didn't she?
No, she was being run down by the
Oh, yeah, that's
constant
right.
attacks.
I just...
I gotta say that it's a strange thing to be like, get motivation to try out again, because the worst that could happen is you clip your head on the board and
never do the thing again.
maybe die.
Yeah, it doesn't land for me.
I think where it gets to at the end of the episode is a better
Yeah.
conclusion of that story.
All right. Anyway, she doesn't hear anyone telling her that she's a good girl in this flashback.
Sadly.
It's a little disappointing. All right. So at the juice bar, Kat's asked Tommy and Rocky to meet her. And she's decided she wants to be traded for Ninjor.
Yeah, it's heavy.
It's super heavy, right?
Yeah.
She feels like she caused the problem and it's her responsibility to put things right.
And she's so at peace with it.
Yeah.
It's weird. She's just like, yeah, I'm willing to give up my life. It's time to die.
In exchange for a ninja robot that I don't think ever met.
No.
But you guys say he's great, so...
I mean, you hear Ninja Robot, it's like, yeah, of course he's fucking great.
yeah. Oh, there's a ninja robot who's better than me. No shit.
Yeah.
You said ninja robot. Oh, alright, so Tommy says, no, there's always another way. And I think I'll come up with the other way. Spoiler alert for in 5 minutes. It's a terrible plan.
I mean, it's not a... I don't know if it's terrible.
It's not good.
I don't believe that Tommy came up with it. I believe that Billy came up with it and he hadn't mentioned it to Kat yet. And when the opportunity came up, he was like, yeah, I got this plan.
Tommy has a plan, and it's like, we'll do a cardboard cutout. And Billy's like, okay, that's good. I've got this force field machine.
Yeah.
And Tommy's like, yeah, that is better.
Yeah, so what we don't see the scene in between that's Tommy pitching his plan to the room and then being like, that's a bad plan. Let's go with Billy's plan.
Yeah, that's...
His involves force fields.
Yeah. All right, so everyone except Kim is in the park.
Yep.
They really are just like Kat is standing where Kim would be in all of these shots.
Yeah.
They're not disguising it at all.
No. Which, I mean, at this point, I think that's a very conscious decision.
Yeah. So everyone runs off to hide except Tommy and Kat.
Yep.
And Tommy and Kat are like, well, I guess you guys should come down now. I guess you're constantly watching us, so you'll know that I'm here to say it's time.
That's the thing, is it's so weird that they would see them hiding.
But you weren't watching us 30 seconds ago?
Yeah.
Maybe. So Tommy says maybe they chickened out. And then Rito and Goldar and Rita appear. And Goldar says, obviously you don't know us very well.
No, they don't know you too well.
Goldar, buddy, come on, okay? The reason that you're still alive 140 episodes into this show is that every fight you run away from.
He only ever chickens out. It's his whole deal.
And look, the survival instinct thing working well for you. There's lots of dead monsters on this show.
Yeah, at least
and
those monsters are at peace, though. You know?
Jesus.
Goldar is just, you know, the world's... I don't want to say toilet, but...
No, you do want to say Goldar. You do want to say that Goldar is the world's toilet.
He is,
That's
though.
a sentence that you've said to me aloud.
Yeah.
Right, so let's talk about this plan. Mm-hmm. They tell Goldar to put Ninjor down.
Yep.
And he throws the bottle down.
Yep.
And then Billy makes a force field around Kat
Yes.
when they try to grab Kat.
With a force field projector.
And then Tommy grabs the bottle and throws it to Rocky so that they can set Ninjor free. If this was the plan, I don't know how I feel about the plan. It feels like cheaty.
Yeah, I mean, Rita calls them out on cheating.
Yeah,
But also, I think this is a sort of situation where you're allowed to cheat.
I guess. I don't know how else you solve the problem.
When your choice is cheating or people dying,
Yeah, that's fair.
cheating is the lesser of the two evils there.
Except it turns out Rita cheated as well.
Rita, cheater!
Ninjor's not in the bottle.
Cheater, Rita.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Yes,
Where the fuck is Ninjor?
that's a good question. They don't get him back, do they?
No.
I just realised that.
He's not in the bottle. And they never mention it again. Ever in this episode.
Wow. This episode ends with Ninja probably dead.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if he's not in the bottle...
Presumably that's, like, left to be resolved. But it feels like there should have been a line like, wow, we should think about getting Ninjor back later.
Why? I mean, theoretically, they were like, okay, you didn't hand over Cat. We've thrown Ninjor in the Sea of Sorrow.
They failed at their end of the bargain. They actually don't come out of this any better.
No, that's a lie. They end up with the pink power coin back.
That's true. But it still ends in basically the situation that started with.
Holy shit.
Where Rita has Ninjor and they have Cat.
I can't believe I didn't notice.
Neither did I. They did a good job of hoodwinking us there. Because Rita could come down next week and be like, so, guess what? Give us Cat.
Ninjor's head. Just like, yeah.
Yeah, that, or just do the same thing again. Like, give us Cat, or we'll kill Ninjor.
We're going to keep doing this.
Until we get it right.
You know what? We've done plans and then not use them again.
Yep.
This one, we think it's pretty decent.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Wow. They don't address that at all.
Not at all. The word Ninjor is not spoken after this scene. Oh, sorry, that's a lie. They say it once when they say, let's go throw them in the Sea of Sorrow.
Oh, wow. Oh, man, I hope next week opens with them, like, having a party in the command center. And then someone stopping the music and be like, guys, wait, we forgot something. This is important. Ninjor's probably dead.
Oh, man.
It really does seem like they forgot. I forgot.
It's like this, if Ninjor had been in the bottle even,
Yep.
that would have just been fine.
Yeah. I guess they want to get another episode out of it, but...
Maybe they don't. Wouldn't it be great if next week Ninjor just shows up and he's like, hey guys, I'm fine.
Or you just never see Ninjor again. Like, it's the end of the series for Ninjor.
The costume broke or something, so they couldn't put him on the show anymore.
Yeah, he's missing presumed dead.
Oh man, I genuinely am not coping well with the fact that the show tricked me into
Yeah.
forgetting. I honestly cannot tell if they've done it intentionally or if they got to that part and also forgot that they hadn't resolved Ninjor.
Oh boy. Yeah, I feel like we were tricked by a children's television show.
You know what? It took 135 episodes. I'm fine with it getting me once or twice.
That's a good point.
Boy, God almighty. I can't wait till we see Ninjor again.
Or don't. Either way, it's a good outcome.
Okay, so Ninjor's not in the bottle,
Yeah.
wherever he is. The Rangers morph to ninjas, and Rita summons some Tengas now to try and grab Cat.
Yep.
But they can't because force field.
Yep.
So they fight the Tengas, like, very briefly, but there's just too many of them. Mm-hmm. And some of them grab the force field generator and just smash the shit out of it. And then the force field goes away.
Tenga's working surprisingly well at their tingering.
Yep. So Rito grabs her.
Yep.
There's a bit where Kat's like, oh no, what'll I do? Where I figured she was going to drop into some kung fu.
I absolutely thought that was going to be the case. It really looks like a hero moment where, like, oh, I'm scared, but no, I have to overcome. And then she fights back and like, yeah, Kat,
Yeah.
you're a worthy be Power Ranger.
No, she just gets grabbed by Rito and he teleports away.
Yeah. Does not go the way I thought.
Tommy tries to do like a jump kick, but...
Ends up jump kicking the air.
Yep.
Given where they were, if Rito didn't teleport, I'm pretty sure he would have just kicked her in the gut.
Yep.
Just like straight in the stomach.
But that's okay. You shoot through the hostage.
That's the rule, right? That's
Yeah.
the hostage rule.
Yeah. But in the gut, so it doesn't kill them.
You know, it's the gut. There's an 80% chance that she won't make it, but that's fine. 20% chance she will.
Yeah, better than odds of being thrown in the Sea of Sorrow, that's for sure.
That's true.
All right, so back on the moon now.
Mm-hmm.
The plan is they're going to bottle up Cat with Ninjor,
Makes it sound like they're going to get her essence.
and throw them into the Sea of Sorrow.
Yep.
But they can't do that now because the tide hasn't come in. It's such a Rita Repulsa complication that, like, they can't throw the bottle into the ocean. They have to put it on a spot on the shore and wait for the tide to take it away.
I just love the idea that potentially they're all just really lazy. They can't be bothered throwing things, so they're going to wait till the tide can do it for them.
Oh boy! All right.
It wouldn't be the strangest thing for them to be undone by their laziness.
No, it really wouldn't. So, in what I assume is some sort of prison cell dimension,
Yep.
Squad and Babu are playing Go Fish.
Yes.
Cat's nearly able to reach the keys that are sitting on one of their waists, but just can't quite make it.
Yep.
Rito shows up to relieve them. Okay, let's talk about this Rito bit. Rito opens with a joke about how there's a crick in his neck and he's not sure what it is. Maybe it's a muscle spasm. Wait, I'm a skeleton, I don't have any muscles.
Yep.
Which is fine.
That's pretty funny.
Right?
I had a chuckle.
What happens next is...
Messed up? Super messed
Well,
up.
yeah.
Ultra messed up.
So, basically, Cat's like, I think I know how to get rid of the pain.
Yeah.
You have to come here. And Rito sits down in front of the cell and she starts massaging him.
Ugh.
But he has no muscles.
Yeah, what's she doing?
And they made a really specific point of saying that 6 seconds ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's questions that you could never answer at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, why would he be able to feel that? But also, he needs to be able to feel things to, like, hold shit, right?
Yeah.
So he's got to have nerves, I guess, just on his bones. There's some biological questions there that you'll never find happy answers for.
No.
So, what we get is the super gross thing of Cat just giving Rito a good old massage.
It's the super G version of her offering him sex to get out of the cell.
Yeah, except it's not that G.
Yeah.
You know,
He is, like, groaning a bit, isn't he?
he's a little too into it, and she's really putting her arms into it. It's just,
God.
you know, it's a little,
Yeah.
And she's super grossed out, which only just makes it feel weirder and more intimate.
Yeah, if she was like, yeah, this is just a thing I've got to do. It would be
If she was like,
okay.
look, he's just a silly cardboard monster, this is fine. But the fact that she's, like, very uncomfortable doing it makes it weirder. Yeah.
So, as he's going to sleep,
Yep.
she sees that there's just a box sitting in the middle of the room.
Yep.
And she says, what's in the box? And he says, I'm not going to tell you what's in the box. It's
What's
the
in
pink
the
power
box? What's in the box?
coin. Thanks for that, Brad Pitt.
You're welcome.
It's not Gwyneth Paltrow's severed head. Spoilers for Seven.
That's where the pink powers come from.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
That's their totem.
Ooh. No, it's the pink power coin.
Yeah.
So Rito falls asleep. Cat grabs the key. The keyhole that she uses to unlock the door
Yep.
is on the inside of the cell.
Yeah.
Why would you put a lock that you can open on both sides on a prison cell door?
You don't want to get stuck in there. Seriously, though, like, if you had to clean the cell and you would need to, like, you know,
I guess.
to broom it out, as cleaners say,
Yeah.
you wouldn't want the door to close behind you and then be stuck. You're going to be able to use your keys to get out.
But yeah, I'm not sold. Anyway, so she opens the door, grabs the power coin.
Yep.
And then Rita comes in.
Yep.
And it's basically 5 minutes of an episode of Benny Hill at this point.
Yep.
They're both standing on opposite sides of the box. And they just run around to other sides of the box.
I think run around is overstating it.
Step around.
They kind of just walk around it calmly.
Rita's an evil sorceress.
Yeah.
Who we know can mind control people.
To me, though, in my mind, she's got that thing going where she has to, like, prepare spells.
Okay,
Like a
sure.
Dungeons & Dragons character.
She's a Vancian wizard, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Vancian magic is the type of magic that you have to, like, prepare your spells and then do them.
Fucking nerd.
It's named after Jack Vance, who wrote a series of books like that. It's what Gary Gygax based the Dungeons & Dragons magic on.
Okay, cool.
Shut up. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm being too nerdy on our Power Rangers podcast.
I think you are, actually, weirdly enough.
Wait, is that the line?
That's the Fantian magic, Jesus.
What? I know shit, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not going to apologise for knowing shit.
No, that's fair. That is actually quite interesting. I take back my criticism.
Goddamn right you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rita just, I mean, all she's trying to do is, like, yell at Cat.
Yep.
She's just like, give me the coin. And Cat's like, I'm not going to give
I
you
don't want to do that.
She specifically says, I've had enough of your nonsense. Like,
She's such a sick bird at that point. After everything Rita's done, to call that nonsense, really seems like shit talking. You know, like
it's like her disappointed mother. It's like, no, Rita, come on, stop it. Just go sit in the corner.
Yep.
So
nonsense.
Rita teleports some Tengas in, but luckily in the command center, they got a reading that the coin was in the hands of good.
Yep.
Which I guess is a thing that they can track.
Yeah, go track goodness.
So they teleport Kat out just in time, and now she's got the power coin.
Yay!
Yay!
So they did actually come out on this episode slightly better.
Yep. So
Zordon welcomes Kat to their strategic command center.
You mean their go punch the giant monster command center?
Yeah, it really just seems like Zordon just tried to talk it up. It's like, yeah, welcome to our ultra modern brutalist in design.
There's a new girl in there. He's taking a new girl to the house. He's like, so this is my strategic command center.
Yeah, we do a strategy here.
Yeah,
think about strategies. That's what we do.
There's a nice bit where she teleports in, and the reaction on her face is, "Where the fuck am I? What the fuck is that giant floating head? Is that a robot?"
Yep, it's pretty good.
So Rita and Lord Zed are just squabbling on the moon now about how Rita's failed again.
And then Rita fairly calls her out on this shit, and she's like, "No, I'm not going to take that from you. You give it a go, bastard." Getting real on the moon.
It really is. He doesn't give it a go.
No,
That's
the weird part of this episode, right? That's where he'd be like, "Fine, I'll send a monster."
No
monster.
No. The rest of this is just like the end of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it
There's
really
just
is.
7 different endings to this episode.
God, it so is.
All right, so Tommy and Kim are meeting Kat at the pool now.
Yep.
And Kat does a dive.
Yeah.
She wanted to show Kim that you could overcome your fears.
Yep. It's a pretty good dive.
So, lesson learnt, I guess.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say, back when they bring Kat to the command center, they're like, "How did you escape?" And she absolutely does not cop to giving Rita a massage. She's like, "Oh, you could just say that I was in the right place at the right time and didn't have to fondle a horrifying skeleton, man. That's something I'm going to repress for the rest of my life."
Oh, God. At some point, she gets married to some dude, and he's like, "Would you be willing to give me a massage?"
Yeah.
She just rocks in the corner.
Starts sobbing. Yeah.
I've got the power coin now. Oh, boy.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a lot of pink leotards in this episode.
Sure is.
Which, you know, that's not a complaint, Power Rangers. I want to make that clear.
You're not opposed?
It's just a comment.
It's an observation.
Just an observation.
Yep.
You could say that there's not enough pink leotards in other episodes of this show.
Or just in life.
That's definitely also true.
Yeah.
Because Kim is at the Pan Global Trials.
Yep.
She learned all it took was Kat doing a dive to teach her the lesson. Mm-hmm. So she does the gymnastics.
Several gymnastics.
It's a very good gymnastics, I guess.
Sure. As far as I know.
Yeah, I mean, she
doesn't get knocked unconscious.
She does a handstand and does a flip and stuff, so, you know.
As we know, it's not a high bar to clear. Not literally in this gymnastics case, but yeah. Good gymnastics, Kim.
So everyone claps, and then
she hits a 99.5.
Yeah. Which I guess is out of 100.
Who knows?
Yeah. Gymnastics could be scored out of 750. That wouldn't shock me.
No, it really wouldn't.
So they're doing a surprise congratulations party.
Yep.
So when she's on her way, everyone hides.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best bit is Bulk is just got his head under the table, but the rest of him is clearly visible.
Yeah, and Kim notices when she comes in, she sees Bulk and just kind of gives him this warm smile.
Yeah.
And this is the only Bulk has got bit in this entire episode, and it is adorable.
Yeah, they're just at the party to congratulate someone who they know and like.
Absolutely.
It's just...
And when everyone jumps out and says surprise, Bulk says supplies.
Yeah, he's a moron.
I think, but he still does it in an absolutely 100% earnest and genuine. I'm really here to congratulate you.
Yeah, it's not like I've said another thing.
Yeah.
I'm so subversive.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's nice because those guys are friends now.
Yeah, just in time for her to never be on the show again.
Yeah.
All right. So Gunther Schmidt.
Yeah,
he's back.
He's got an announcement.
So Kim is by far the finest athlete he has ever coached.
That's a big call.
Yep.
Considering that he's coached gold medalists.
So he would like her to move to his facility in Florida, and he believes that he can train her to win gold at the Pan Globals.
Yep. Cool.
Okay.
That's big.
What happened to her moving to France?
Nah, France is basically in Florida. They both start with F.
Okay.
And as you know, the world is organised alphabetically.
It just seems weird that the show set up that whole plot to explain why Kim would not be on the show at the end of the season.
It's almost like they're bad at planning ahead.
But, like, it was good at planning ahead.
Yeah.
Because they could see it coming and prepared an arc that would set that up.
Yeah.
And then when it got time for it, they were like, forget about it. It'll be fine.
Although it does kind of explain why after the Paying Global Games, which...
She doesn't come back.
Exactly. You know, we don't know how far away it is necessarily, the Paying Global Games.
Sure.
But it's presumably not 10 years in the future.
I imagine they're every 4 years.
Probably, yeah. So, yeah. And if they're having trials for it now, it can't be that far away.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a reason why Kim doesn't come back afterwards, and this kind of explains it.
Sure.
There is an unfortunate bit, though, where Zordon says the skills you gain will be very important and you'll come back to us better, like a stronger Power Ranger.
Yeah, he says someday... So this is next scene in the command center. Kim first makes the decision she's not going to go.
Yep.
What she says is that when she became a Power Ranger, she made a promise to stand by you guys. And I think that really called into relief for me. She really only made that promise to Billy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone else has shown up later.
Yep.
But, you know, Tommy says, as much as I will be bummed, like, you got to go become an Olympic gold medalist. Then I'll be able to say that I dated an Olympic gold medalist, and that's going to be great for me.
Yep.
And even, you know, Zordon says someday when you return, you will be an even more effective Power Ranger. What I wrote down, I want to watch that show.
Yeah.
Like, I want to watch the show where she went and did a weird thing, and 3 years later she came back and was like a kick-ass Pink Ranger mentor Power Ranger to a new team.
Yep. Me too. I'm with you. Yeah, it just makes it sad that that never happens.
No, she does come back briefly.
Does she?
In Turbo, a Power Rangers movie.
Oh, I've forgotten about that. That's not a good thing. It's not a happy memory for the future.
I mean, it's so bad. I hate the movie.
Yeah.
But I also, like, I unfairly love it.
Yeah.
It's so terrible. It's great. One day we will get to it, and you haven't seen it? Is
No,
that
I
true?
haven't seen it.
Oh, boy.
I'm saving myself.
I'm so looking forward to it, Matt, because it's bonkers.
Yep. That'll happen.
All right, so what are they going to do without a Pink Ranger?
Probably just get another Pink Ranger. If only there was someone who wore pink and was good at spinning around and had connected with the pink power coin.
So Kim says, I know someone who would make an amazing Power Ranger. She's known this girl for like maybe 3 weeks. And for 2.5 of those weeks, this girl was under an evil mind control spell.
You know what? I will give this to the show. They did a pretty good job of establishing her as heroic
I guess.
and flexible, which is basically the only 2 traits you need to be a Pink Ranger.
That's fair. So there's a nice bit. Alpha teleports her in, and she just goes, "Hi everyone, it's Kat. Hey guys."
Remember me from being an evil cat?
But Kim says, like, I told Alpha and Kat that I was going to do this. She says, just in case you convinced me to change my mind, which is basically code for, I was just waiting for you guys to tell me to go do it.
Give me permission.
Yeah. So can you imagine how weird it would have been for Kat if she's just like standing in her bedroom waiting for like
Her big reveal.
a couple of hours, and Kim's like, no, I have decided to stay, but you know, we can still be friends, I guess.
It'd be very sad last scene of the episode. The sun setting and Kat just sitting down on her bed somberly.
So Kim gives her the power coin.
Yep.
Wasn't there a whole thing with a magic sword that they had to do to transfer the powers?
Yeah. That seemed hard though. So it is interesting how different this is from the last time powers were transferred.
Yep. Well, it helps a lot when you can have both sets of actors on the show at the same time.
It makes a huge difference, and it actually feels like an emotional goodbye.
Yeah.
Instead of a hand-wavy plot thing, which is nice. But as you said, it makes it weirder that the other 3 Rangers just disappeared into the night, whereas this one Ranger gets like a 20-episode arc to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there were several episodes about the peace conference in Switzerland, which I guess is still going on because those guys haven't come back yet.
No.
It's a long conference, but I guess we don't have peace yet, so...
That's true.
If you had a conference where you were like, right, no one is leaving until we have peace, that is going to be a big conference.
It's going to be a long one, yeah.
Alright, so they say, like, hey, you know how she was an evil cat monster? Is that all done? And Zordon's like, no, there might still be some evil magic, but we'll figure it out.
Keep an eye out. If your head's set into pause, maybe let me know.
It's just, he's so blasé about it.
Yeah.
He's just, there's not even like, let's run a scan and we'll do some tests and we'll check. He's like,
We'll cross that bridge.
we fixed most of the problem.
Cross that ferry bridge. Not a phrase you're happy with?
It just, no, not
Okay.
at all. So then Zordon, it's now time for Zordon to do the pitch to Kat, which
Yep.
is like, this is what you get.
He opens with the worst cell in the world.
You will command the pink shark cycle with precision and something else.
Can you imagine? This is Kat's moment. She's like, yeah, Power Ranger. And Zordon leads with, you get this dumb motorbike. She'd be like, And it kind of goes downhill from there.
Because then, okay, so, and first of all, what's with the weird computer shot of like a shark jumping out of water and then becoming the shark cycle?
But it doesn't even start off as a shark.
No.
It starts off as like a porpoise and then turns into a shark cycle.
And it's on like a rotating platform, like it's a Wheel of Fortune prize.
It's true.
And then he says, and someday, if we're lucky, you will be able to command the pink crane Zord.
Yep.
But right now, I
We're-
guess you're on your Zord learner's permit?
Yeah.
Because you're just going to be in the one with Tommy.
It's just such a crushing moment for Kat because it's like, all we've really got to offer you right now is a dumb motorbike you're probably never going to use. And we don't actually have a Zord for you, so you're just going to have to backseat it in Tommy's one. There's not 2 sets of controls in there. You're just going to be sitting
No,
down.
you'll just sit there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. You've got to do 120 hours.
Yep.
And then you can be on your Zord Ps. We've got giant metal plates that we hang off them. And then you've got to take a test on a computer, and then you can have your own Zord.
Do you think they do that in America?
Probably not. My understanding is in America they just give you a car and a gun and say go for it.
Yeah. America. The land of the free.
For to hit each other with cars and shoot each other with guns. It's not.
Yeah, but they're free to do that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I maybe would prefer people to be less free to do that
I understand.
in my personal life.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then Kim is just like, all right, peace out, bitches. Hands in the middle, jump in the air, yell Power Rangers, freeze frame.
Yeah, it's a nice callback to the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then over the credits, it's just shots of Kim doing gymnastics.
You did forget the very last scene of the episode there, Michael.
Oh, God, did I?
Where we get the slow panning shot across the bottom of the ocean, and then you see an anchor, and then you pan up the anchor, and then there's Ninjor's lifeless body just bobbing in the water. The lights in his eyes have flickered out.
I just need to be clear, that's not a scene from this episode.
It could have been, given how it ends.
I love the thought that they shot it, and at the end, they were doing the final edit pass, and
Yeah.
someone was like, is that too dark?
Too far, maybe. Might need to dial that one back just a little.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
And that's it. It's the end of Kimberly, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess we don't see you next episode.
I guess not. So, there's now one original Power Ranger left on this team.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Even having, Tommy is, for all intents and purposes, more or less an original Power Ranger.
Kind of.
His first episode is episode 17.
Yeah, it's
clearly
pretty early.
when they were setting up the show,
Yeah.
that was something they were aware they were doing.
Yeah.
But he still doesn't feel like an original member of the team.
No.
And then everyone else left.
Yeah.
It felt balanced when it was Kim and Tommy and Billy and the 3 new guys.
That was definitely, a half veteran, half new sort of situation. But now the scales have tipped significantly.
Yeah.
And I guess the others don't really feel like new people anymore. but they also don't feel like...
It's not Jason and
Veterans.
Zach and Trini.
No.
Which is weird because when did those guys leave? Episode 60-something, 70-something?
Yeah, so the new guys have been Power Rangers much longer, I guess.
At least, hold on, I'm going to look it up.
Yeah.
What was the name of that episode?
The power transfer?
The Power Transfer. That's a very obvious name. So that was episode 87, 88.
Okay.
And they hadn't been on the show since around episode 80.
Yeah.
But
So it's not quite... The new guys haven't quite been there as long, but we're coming up on it quite fast.
yeah, I mean, this is episode 130, so that's 50. So that's 50-odd episodes, nearly
Yep.
60. It's definitely close to even,
So by the end of this season, we'll be close to even, basically.
which is insane to think about.
Yeah.
It really does feel like that happened super recently still.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how I feel about... It's just... I guess the thing that's interesting to me is my team of Power Rangers
Yep.
is the second Turbo / In Space team.
Yep.
Those guys are like my childhood Power Rangers. So, and then because I'd seen... I don't know, I must have seen some early episodes. I had like I knew Jason and Zach and the original guys.
Yep.
And I mean, I'd seen the movie, but to be honest, I don't know if before being an adult, I could have told you that the movie was a different set of people.
Sure.
It's just weird, like, this team that we're up to now is this weird in-between stage.
Yeah, we say that, but they're also from here on out, more or less, a very consistent team.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, there's...
about 4 of these Rangers will be Rangers for 3 years.
Up until Turbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Halfway through Turbo, and that's a long time.
It is it's like 2 more proper seasons.
I mean, they're probably kind of the longest serving core team of Rangers.
I mean, yeah, I would imagine that to be true. Yeah, a whole season of Mighty Morphin. Oh, actually, no, because there's a change as we go into Zeo.
There is one change, that's true.
And then another single change as we go into Turbo.
Yeah.
So, like, the core 5 are probably the team that goes the longest without any changes.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think Adam, Rocky, and Tommy...
yeah.
Yeah, they probably have, as a group of 3, the longest run of any group of 3.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Did get
Changes.
real.
Yeah.
We said it'd get real, it got real.
All right.
Things change. Life happens.
Speaking of things getting real, Matt.
Yep.
Next week's episode is something that I've been looking forward to for about 100 episodes.
Yes,
Rita's Peter.
that's right. It's time to get our bacon.
It's her adventures in flatbread, I hope.
It's just a great phrase. Adventures in flatbread.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if this was just like the Great British Bake Off, but on the moon?
We've talked about before how we just want it to be about Rita like leaving Lord Zed and trying to start a small business.
Yep.
And that's just not going well.
Rita's Peter.
I mean, presumably Finster would have baking knowledge. He basically bakes monsters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe that's not what it's going to be.
That's almost certainly. But we will find out more about that next week.
Yep.
With a brand new Pink Power Ranger.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how she...
Feels.
Like, does she just jump straight in? Is there stuff about, like...
Her learning the ropes.
Her learning the ropes?
Guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Next time on Ranger Danger.
Z.
Z?
It's like on Dragon Ball Z.
Oh. That's not what we do.
That's... no.
It's a different show, Michael.
That show has nearly as many episodes.
Does it?
I mean, I feel like it does.
As Power Rangers as a whole? That can't be right.
No, as like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably true. There was a lot of that show.
There's a lot of that show. I'm going to look it up right now.
Okay. Aren't you glad you stuck around for this last little bit of Dragon Ball Z detail?
You should be. There are 291 episodes of Dragon Ball Z.
Wow.
So there's more than... There's like twice as many as there are of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Whoa. It's a lot more than I remember.
Yeah.
I guess they drag stuff out a lot on that show.
Yeah. You know how... It's basically the opposite of this show.
Yeah.
Like on this show, battles take 6 seconds and are narratively unsatisfying.
Yep.
And on Dragon Ball Z, they take 6 weeks and are narratively unsatisfying in a different way.
That's true. Although I would say that show is a lot more narratively satisfying than Power Rangers.
That is definitely true.
Yeah.
On account of it was written by people who had the ability to think more than one episode in the future at a time.
That's true.
Matt, so there's one thing we have to do. No creature feature this week.
That's true.
Because no creature
No.
to feature. But where would you rank this episode?
Oh, yeah. We've got to do an Adam, a Rocky, and an Aisha.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd be willing to give it an Adam. Although it's not a standard episode.
Yeah.
It is at least a satisfying send-off for Kimberly.
It's other than the thing about Ninjor,
which is almost impressive.
Yeah. It's, like, mostly coherent, and it never made us go, like, dumb. I mean, it did make me go dumb a couple of times, actually, now that I think about it. That thing with Rita and Kat running around, and that massage. It's an Adam, but it's a low end of the Adam.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So, Matt, since I started writing down what we rank them as, this is our 5th Adam in a row.
Hey!
So, maybe the show's going okay?
Don't say that. You'll jinx us.
Rita's Peter is definitely going to be like, now that all the arcs are done, and we're just
Although it's not, because remember, Ninjor's gone.
Who knows? Who knows? All right, I guess we'll be back next week.
See you then, guys.